Good morning, campers. Um, I'm in Missoula, Montana, in a hotel room, and it's very nice. I like this hotel room. Ooh, fancy paintings, TV, desk and things, and laundry bags, and groceries, and a lovely view of some trucks, which you probably can't see because of the reflections. So let's try this, and that's a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm in Missoula, Montana, training for new job things. Ooh, mirror there, light bouncing off. It's perfect lighting. It's behind me too. So I picked up a little bit of a cold on the way out here, riding in the car with my sister. It happens. Tight quarters and airborne illness is not a good mix. So I'm recovering from that. Sorry. I can't even edit that out right now because I just don't have the time. This is all one take. I had my first day today. It was pretty fun. I really like Jim Palmer so far. The company's great. All my training today was one-on-one, which was unexpected. I thought there'd be a couple other people here in my class. But I mean, still, the class sizes are supposed to be tiny here, but one-on-one was unexpected. So that's been pretty great. Gotten a lot of practice in for the CDL test tomorrow. Just fingers crossed for that. Hope I pass. Um, should do pretty well. I've passed all the practice tests so far because I've read the CDL manual a lot on the trip here. Um, about the trip here, that was fun. So what happened is my oldest sister, or my older sister, not my oldest sister, I've got several sisters. My older sister moved to Rapid City, halfway across the country, slightly more than halfway across the country for her. And so I just tagged along with her for that move because she needed someone to drive her car. So I drove her car. And we got 1,900 miles in just under 3 trips. We did like 600 miles the first day. She did 200 before she picked me up, so she did a couple hundred more miles than I did. Um, we did 600 miles the first day, 1,000 miles the second day, and the last 250 or so on the third day because we had to get there before so they could get their new apartment. So wonderful times there. Picked up that cold, not too bad. Got to see a lot of the country that I've never been to before. I went through Kentucky, West Virginia, reverse those two. West Virginia, then Kentucky, both states I've never been to before, which were they were pretty gorgeous. But then we got into the open plains in Indiana and Illinois. Again, reverse those. No. Yeah, no, I had the order right the first time. Indiana, then Illinois. Um, which the open plains were spectacular. I haven't seen that since I got to fly out to Wichita for a job interview a few years ago, and a brief stay in Dallas once. But so that was pretty cool to drive through that for a while. Weather wasn't great, but win some you lose some. Got to see the horrible drivers that live in Missouri. That was a wonderful state. And I mean that purely sarcastically. I did not enjoy the trip through Missouri at all. Some cool places around St. Louis, and it was really neat to see the Arch for the first time. But not a fan of their traffic. It's like everyone in that entire state drives like they're in Washington D.C. It's not cool, guys. Not cool at all. Don't do that. Don't drive like that. Iowa was pretty great. It was nice and empty. Bit of traffic around Omaha, but didn't actually cross into Nebraska, so I don't get to scratch that off my list. Uh, did enjoy it though. Did enjoy it. The city looks very cool from a slight distance, from just across the border in Iowa. It's very cool seeing that city out in the middle of nowhere. Um, Hopefully, I get the chance to see more of Omaha eventually, and just more of Nebraska in general. I like that state. Lots of cool people from Nebraska. Um, and then we hit up into South Dakota, which was interesting. Sioux Falls wasn't terribly enjoyable, mostly because of the kind of horrible hotel we stayed at. But the trip across South Dakota the next day into across the Badlands as well as the plains, we crossed the Missouri River. That was spectacular. South Dakota is a lovely state, and Rapid City is pretty great. I could see myself living there. I really could. Mountains on all sides, and wonderful wildlife. Rattlesnake signs. They've got signs about rattlesnakes. Uh, I didn't get a picture of those. They also have a Blockbuster, another rarity. Though it's not long for this world. It has a store closing sign on it. But it was still open when I went there. So that was pretty interesting. I knew I saved that card for a reason. Um, so yeah, I spent about a week in Rapid City, and then I was supposed to pick up a rental car from Enterprise and drive the rest of the way to Missoula on Saturday. Last Saturday. That didn't happen. Enterprise decided that they didn't want my money and did not have a car for me. So some strings got pulled, and I wound up on a bus, which left at 5:50 Mountain Time from Rapid City and arrived in Missoula at 7:45 the next morning. So that was fun. I barely slept at all on that bus. I did manage to get some sleep, but I was too paranoid about missing my stops because I had to do a transfer in the middle of that in Billings. But Montana was pretty cool, even at night. Even at night, Montana is pretty great. Sadly, this camera couldn't capture it. I tried to get some photos. There were some really great moonlit vistas that I got to see that just don't translate at all into this camera. I'm so sad. Couldn't see any of them. Just saw like a dot of the moon. None of the mountains in the darkness faintly illuminated. But hopefully eventually see more of Montana in daylight. Huh. Butte was also interesting. The descent into Butte was a little bit terrifying on a bus. It got kind of windy that night, and the driver was a little bit stressed out. A little bit stressed out, and someone started whining halfway down the hill. Driver, the radio's on. And the driver gets on the intercom like, I know the radio's on. I'll fix it later. I'm driving down a mountain pass. So that was funny. That was funny. Because, apparently the driver just had the radio, because the radio had to be on in the bus in order for his intercom to work. And he just had it set to a random radio station. Apparently someone was broadcasting on that station in Butte. So we come around the mountain into the valley where Butte is, and suddenly you start hearing music. And the people that were trying to sleep on the bus were not happy about that. And no regard for what the driver's doing. Just start yelling at him from halfway back in the bus. That was pretty funny. But he handled it. He handled it like a champ. Didn't get pissed off. Just put the passenger in their place and got us to Butte safely. So he did a very good job. The bus, however, was a piece of crap. And it was terrifying. And I never hope I ride it again. So, Jefferson Lines. Buy new buses. Promote the dude who was driving that bus. He deserves it. He deserves a new bus. It was weird because the trip from Billings to Missoula was the most crowded intercity bus I've ever been on. There's only like 5 free seats on the entire thing. And of course, some jerks just immediately got on the bus and spread over 2 seats and wouldn't move unless someone was like really rude to them. Of course, they were being rude to start with, but and so that was a really crowded bus. But the bus from Rapid City to Billings in the first place, there was only like 5 people on it, and that was a brand new bus. It was great. The ride was spectacular. The drivers were awesome. The scenery was great. It was quiet, and the Wi-Fi didn't work. That was weird, but I had a cell phone signal the whole way. And then we get to Billings, pile all these people on this ancient bus, and the engine turns on. Sounds like a freaking vacuum cleaner right behind me the entire trip. Like, it was so noisy that when I fell asleep, I would wake up when the driver started coasting, because the vacuum cleaner noise was always when he was hitting the accelerator. So whenever he'd coast, it would get really quiet in the bus, and that would wake me up, because the noise was so constant. So constant in the bus. So yeah, that was fun. Jefferson Lines got me out of a pickle there. A pickle caused by Enterprise. Still mad about that. Never get my business again. Never. No more Enterprise. I've never actually bought an Enterprise car, but still, never again. Never. So yeah, safe and sound into Missoula, Missoula is spectacular. Everything here is awesome. The scenery is fantastic. There's mountains everywhere. Snow-capped mountains. Very cool. Don't see many snow-capped mountains in Virginia. Not this time of year, anyway. Very strange weather here. Like, they'll get little pop-up showers that drop a bunch of snow and then gone in 20 minutes. I put up a few pictures taken like 10 minutes apart each of a storm that's just like dumping snow, and then less than 20 minutes later, just gone. Just gone. Like it never existed. Just like a few hanging snowflakes in the sky. They're on Twitter. Find me on Twitter. My name's AzerAngel17 on Twitch, Twitter, Xbox Live, and Steam. Less of the gaming stuff, of course. I'm out in Montana and don't have any of my game consoles. So come say hi on Twitter. If you send me a message through Xbox Live, I'll get that on my phone. So that's a good way to get a hold of me, too, if you really have to do it on that way. Yeah, let me know what you like. Vlogging will continue while I'm training. Might try and get some more interesting stuff recorded, but for now it's just going to be like end of day updates. So sorry, hotel room's all you get today. Peanut butter. I like peanut butter. Yeah, Jim Palmer's awesome, by the way. Call the recruiters if you're even considering it, because they're a way better place to get into than most of the other companies out there that will train you up. Their training program's fantastic so far. I've only been in it for like a day, but I'm enjoying it. I've already gotten to see the inside of one of the trucks, and I think I'm going to pick this stuff up pretty quick. So, fingers crossed, and stay tuned. It's going to be interesting. Have a great day. Turn off. Turn off. It doesn't like me today.